All right, guys, what is going on? Today, I have really two knives I'm going to talk about, but I wanted to show the mini Vosteed Nightshade. And I'm going to do a separate video on this guy because it's totally different than the other two. These two are liner locks, basically identical with different opening mechanisms, opening methods, if you will. So I'm going to talk about those and compare them to a video I did about 6 or 7 months ago, the first time I saw a nightshade. That was also loaned in from Professor EDC, as are all of these. That one I did 6 months ago was a flipper version, very similar to this one. And I'll link that video down below and up in the corner later so you can go check it out with all the specs and details. So just know we're going to talk about this more in a separate video. This is the mini Nightshade with a barrel / access lock, and it's just a different animal. So I'm going to talk about this separate. But today we've got the Nightshade and the Nightshade. Thumb stud, thumb hole, black G10 versus gray G10. Liner locks, and Nitro V, which is a different blade steel than on the original Nightshade that I did with a flipper tab. I think Vosteed did a great job on this model altogether. I really did like the flipper tab version. But as I've played with these for the last few days and week, I kind of wish I had a flipper tab one here to compare all three, because it's a tough question for me. I don't have a solid answer. I think I'm really leaning more towards the thumb stud out of these two. The detent on this guy is just a little bit light with the thumb hole. There's been a few times where I've gotten it and it's just kind of popped out partially, had a partial deployment. Whereas the thumb stud one is almost a little bit of a, what the thumb stud one reminds me of, honestly, is the production Red Horse Knife Works. I don't know. I mean, I kind of maybe can now. If I hold it just right, I can slow roll it, but I can't slow roll it. The point is, I was never able to really slow roll this one because it was more like an assisted knife. When you hit that thumb stud, it just fired. And that's really what the Nightshade here, there you go. But really what the Nightshade reminds me of is more of an assisted knife because of the action. It's pretty cool. These are $69 in either configuration here. And let me see if I got the part numbers here for you. So here is one of them. Just in case you need the part numbers, this is the gray G10 thumb stud. And this guy over here would be the black thumb hole. Okay. And these are different packages than the original one that I had. The original one was in a metal tin. This one just comes in a cardboard box with microfiber cloths, stickers, all that good stuff for sure. What Vosteed did really well on these is the pocket clip. It is recessed into the micarta. It's using countersunk hardware, and it works great in the pocket. This one I love this color with the white pivot collars. I'm digging this thing. And they're like $69. The mini that I showed earlier was $59. And that one has a different steel, different lock, different pocket. Like that one, we're going to talk about that one separate, just because I think it deserves a separate chat. And I'm not going to give you all the specs on this one. You can go see the other video on that. These are the same exact knife, just different colors and different openings. Now, everybody talks about having multiple deployment methods on a knife and things like that, which is cool to an extent. There's some knives that have 5, 6, a dozen different openings, and I think that's a little bit much. But if you've got a couple, that's cool, no problem. This may not be your blade shape, okay? I think it's cool. It's kind of a bamboo leaf shaped blade that is kind of canted down as a kukri style, and they call it the kukri cutter. It's really like a shillin cutter, but this really does allow you to get in and get to do work because the blade is down below your knuckles. Another thing that's not quite as exaggerated as maybe is the Cetus from Orion knives. Not quite as dramatic of a angle down perhaps, but I mean, it kind of is the same. This just has a much bigger belly. And I love this knife. This is a very cool knife from David over at Orion Knives. I don't know, guys. Thumb stud, thumb hole. Anybody have an opinion? Let me know down below. I think they're both great, and I think they fall into a really good spot financially at $69. And I believe the flipper tab version was about that same price as well. I didn't check if you can still get the flipper tab or not, but I don't know. Out of these two, I think I got to go with the thumb stud and the gray. I think these are cool knives. At some point, I don't know, I may end up buying one. I may not. I'm really trying not to buy every shiny thing right now because, well, I have a lot of shiny things. I don't need a ton more. Let me give you a couple of just kind of size comparison issues so you get an idea as to where we're at with this thing. This is a great sized knife also. So the Kubi. What else? How about the Red Horse, since we brought it out? And the Cetus. Yeah, what more can I say, guys? Go check out the previous video if you want all the specs and details and all of that stuff. They are on caged bearings. These ones are in Nitro V. That other one was in CPM 154, if I remember. But basically the same thing, just a flipper tab. And they've upgraded the steel since 6-7 months ago. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I think Vosteed is onto something. I've done several Vosteed videos now, and I kind of dig them as a company. Thanks a lot. And thank you, Professor EDC. There'll be a link to his channel up here as well. So please go check him out and say thank you for loaning your stuff to Dirk, because it's a big honor. And I really do appreciate it so that I can keep bringing you guys content like this. Thanks a lot, everyone.